papers are full of stories about tragedy on our roads.
What you don't hear about is what happens after those crashes. Serious injury, lifelong disability, and the impact on the family.
Today we go behind the road toll to examine how a moment's inattention has turned the Rose family's world upside down.
I particularly remember the day a colleague of mine from Hamilton had come out to do some work in Cambridge, and I decided that I'd help her out for the day. So we were down doing what we normally do in the morning, getting the truck ready and doing our bits and pieces when we got a job over at Pager.
It was a morning like any other. Amon was driving himself and Seth to school. Two teenage boys with everything going for them. Both elite athletes. Amon had just been selected for the New Zealand polo team.
That morning we'd actually just gotten home from another crash before this one that had happened.
The roads around Cambridge are long and flat, and it was a road that the boys knew well. It was right here that the crash happened. It was early morning, the boys were travelling along this road to school, and a truck went right through the stop sign. The two brothers, Amon and Seth, were both horrifically injured.
So from what I understand, that morning the boys were heading off to school towards the main highway. Trucks come through from the road here over my left shoulder, and he's come through the stop sign, and he collected the boys. The truck ended up a few hundred metres down the road there through the hedge, and yeah, the boys were left with some pretty serious side impact on the corner of the intersection here.
Waikato has one of the highest crash fatality rates in the country, and it's the young people that are most at risk. But this isn't your typical boy racer story. There was no speeding or alcohol involved. The only mistake Amon made was not wearing his seatbelt.
So this is the truck hitting the car, and
the state of it.
And the jaws of life on the car. And
yeah, I mean, how they survived is
it's unbelievable.
And so my colleague and I had a look into the vehicle. It became quite clear that both boys, both Steph and Amon, were seriously injured, and that we needed to take some definitive care.
One of the policemen rolled up, and he recognised two of the boys straight away, and he said, "Oh, heck, I know who these two belong to." And then it was mentioned that their mum worked at the high school, and yeah, you do. Well, you take that away with you.
So they did a deal to share the injuries, I don't know.
Oh my God.
yeah, this is a bit gross, sorry.
While Seth's injuries were physical, Amon's brain injury left him hovering on the brink of life.
When Amon came to the intensive care unit, he was deeply unconscious. His pupils were dilated, not reacting to light. That means there was very severe brain and brainstem injury. His condition was pretty bad, almost at the verge of dying.
I still don't think we realised the extremities of it and how life-changing it was actually going to be, you know, because heaps of people have said to us afterwards that we just went about our business. You know, our boys were our main concern, and we just spent hours and hours at the hospital, but we never thought that he wouldn't get better. You know, we had, incidences where people wanted the machines turned off, and we're like, no way.
Some people make the decision, but in my view, I will always give them a chance. If anything can be done in a younger person, I will try to the extreme. I was hopeful because of the nature of the injury, and only one side of the brain was affected most, and his age.
The problem is, of course, that when you get a smaller vehicle colliding with a larger vehicle, always the person in the smaller vehicle is going to come off worst. A tragedy, really. There's no two ways about that. You've got some young people who leave for school fit and well, and half an hour down the road, of course, their whole life has changed. Well, I don't call them accidents. As far as I'm concerned, they're crashes. The biggest problem on our road still is we aim for what we call a fatal five. And the fatal five, as far as we are concerned, is alcohol, speed, the fatigue, which is one which is very hard to pick because it creeps up on all of us, the young driver and the at-risk driver, who are your disqualified drivers, and persons, of course, who are suspended.
The truck driver who crashed into the boys was convicted of careless driving and disqualified for 3 years. The place where the accident happened continues to be a notoriously dangerous intersection.
You watch the movies and you see this magical wake up out of a coma, but it didn't happen like that. His recovery was long, and just gradual.
I think the first time we spoke, well, I was there on, I think it was a Friday night.
Yeah, it was.
And it was quite late, and we used to sleep on the crappy little beds next to them and whatever, or the lazy boy if they had to use the bed or whatever. Never had very good sleep stairs, noise going all night and whatever. And I just happened to be there, and I heard him say, and it was home. I'm like, what? You kind of think, well, did I imagine it? Am I trying to hope he said something, I said, did you say something? Talk to me. Home.
Amon spent 2 months in hospital, followed by a year in rehabilitation before he could return home. His brother Seth made a full recovery and has recently moved to Australia. 4 years on, Amon is now living at home with his 2 younger half-brothers, Tane and Trent.
Oh, sorry. And then I come out and have some fun by myself, make things pop like... I say heads up, but...
That's true. Every morning we hear that noise.
Yeah, I got the microwave.
The Roses are a blended family, and it was Tina, Amon's dedicated stepmother, who took on the extraordinarily tough task of nursing Amon back to health.
Don't tell anyone. Oh, read him and weep.
Read him and weep.
Read him and weep. Oh, there. Read him and weep.
There's 13 steps up there, and when he did eventually come home for weekends, because I wanted him home for weekends and because Shane was away, I had to lift him up those 13 stairs. And I had the extended family that would help lift him, and then he would lay on his bed and I would have to change him. And I've got, a man here that I had to change, and it was awkward for me. He wasn't aware of it, and he was fine about it, but yeah, it was hard, and I think sometimes I'd ring up Shane's mum, Shane's sister, and say, look, I need time, I'm getting grumpy, and I'm getting angry, and I don't think I ever really took it out on Amon, but I probably took it out on the rest of the family, Seth, Tane, Trent, but then now, Amon, we never had the word stepmum in our family. It was Tina. I was always Tina to the older boys. But since the accident, I'm now mum from Amon, and I think that means the world, and I'm like, yeah, I am your mum, So, yeah. He still has another mum, and he still calls her mum, but, yeah, I get called mum now too, so that's cool. I think that's the emotional thing I'm getting back now.
You probably very much deserve that title.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind.
I'm a father that's got 4 boys, and I suppose when I turn up to jobs like this, I find it quite difficult. I've got teenage boys, so you know I could see myself being in the family's position, and these are my boys in a vehicle, you know, going off to school in the morning. So yeah, it does has an impact. I certainly go away and think about it and feel for the family and feel for the patients as well.
I've seen a lot of breakups and that as a result of these type of incidents. Because I suppose mums and dads sort of look forward to their kids growing up, going out into the world, getting a job, maybe looking forward to a retirement where they're on their own with not having to look after kids all their lives and that sort of stuff. And a lot of people just don't get the chance because it's a 24/7, 365 days a year job looking after some of our young people out there who are incapacitated and can't actually do for themselves.
I lost 15 kgs in a couple of months. Shane went away a lot for work overseas, so he wasn't here. So, very tough. Shane can maybe tell you more. It was very touch and go, and when Shane was away, he's like, "Well, you're the kids," and I've never said I'm, you know, the stepmum. We just don't use that word in the house, and then I'm sort of, you know, friends who didn't know me that well were like, "Oh, this is not fair, Tina. Why are you stuck here with one boy in hospital, one boy with plates and pins and very angry at life, and two little boys," you know. But yeah, you know, that was the tough bit, I suppose, the relationship.
The fact that I moved out for a while, that probably didn't help at all. It did knock our marriage around for a while, but I think that's made us stronger too. But hey, you've got to eat humble pie and be prepared to say, hey, I stuffed up and, you know, I did things I shouldn't have done, and, you know, let the pressure got to me and I didn't handle it.
I used to have a cheese grater abs, but now I got like the pregnant boy stomach. It's not nice. It's hard to choose what it is, eh? What could I call it? A pumpkin stomach, maybe? A hill. No little hill. That's not right. I used to have a cheese grater, like, they're hard, solid.
So looking at this, I mean, Amon was quite the sportsman, wasn't he?
One of the things we're very proud of, he was the Sportsman of the Year 2005 and 2006 at Church College, the school he went to. That was because of him representing New Zealand in water polo. That chapter's closed. You know, I've grieved over it quite a bit. It wouldn't be true for me not to say that, hey, I was looking forward to watching him play for New Zealand or play for some college in America and see where he went, but
Screwed you for a while, babe.
yeah, it was tough.
As a dad, what was it like for you to see your boy in that state?
You try and be philosophical about it and say, well, hey, he's still alive, but, you know, I am a bit of a sports nut. And I knew the potential he had, and that, you know, that's tough. It's he's missed out on a lot of things that he could have done. And so that hurts sometimes. And so, you know, but now he's got other goals and objectives that he has to set, you know, and so that's fine. And so, you know, we got other things, you know, he's decided he wants to do a half Ironman, and that means I've got to train as well.
Oh, Dad, here he goes. Professional.
So you can't actually see that it didn't go in.
There's one thing I missed again is my talents I had. I used to make beat my spears out of water, shoot, bang, bounce, barren, whatever. And I miss my body I used to have. See this? Apex of flabs. Think of it, abs. I used to have them. They used to be my buddies, but now they're gone. I didn't ask them to be gone. They just left.
But you used to have more energy, eh?
Yeah,
like
more energy.
Before your injury. Yeah. So is your concentration, how was that?
Well, concentration, That's quite hard as well. I can't stay concentrated on things. I change subject all the time. We might be talking about this basketball, well done, well done. And then 5 seconds later, I might be like, when are we going to the shop?
Yeah.
So it fully changes.
Yeah.
My mum and dad have a big conversation about what we did that day and how fun it was on the beach. And it was quite a long conversation. I changed it.
Yeah.
And then you're not listening. We're talking about the beach. It's like, darn it, backhand me.
And what about your memory? How's your memory? Like, do you like your short-term memory? Can you remember like what you've done all day today? Is that easy, or do you forget things?
I can't forget things during the day, but yesterday I can barely remember what I did yesterday. But when I have a sleep, it flushes all the stuff out of me, and then it's a new day.
Really?
It's like a new day.
Every day's a new day.
Every day's a new day.
That's not such a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. Here he goes again. He goes again, the pro. Oh, get out of here. I'll give you some of that, bro.
Having seen what you've seen, what do you tell your boys, your teenage boys that are driving? Are they driving now?
One is, yep. I just teach them driver responsibility, obey the road rules. Speed is not everything, and that you're in charge of a lethal weapon, and any small mistake can, either end in personal tragedy or maim yourself, for further lives.
Unfortunately, it's very, very hard to put an old head on young shoulders. And I know our government is trying to address it with the additional 120 hours of driver training. But of course, a young man, 15, 16, jumps into a motor vehicle today, and unfortunately they do have all the answers. Unfortunately, experience is really the only thing that's going to get them through.
Amon continues to make good progress recovering from his brain injury.
I know where you at, Dad. Where you at? You're in the wrong world, Dad. You're in the wrong world. No wonder I swear you did.
You can't pull any shifties over him, Like, he knows what the rules are. He knows if you're playing the cards right. He knows if I'm shuffling off the bottom. So it's quite good. So knowing that, hey, we can play cards, which is something we thought we'd never maybe be able to do.
9, 10. That's right. Oh, man,
they told us that some people get angry at life, and Amon never did get angry at life. He's still got the same fun-loving personality and the mischief and the tutu, and that hasn't really changed for Am.
Last one for it. Go for it.
Mentally, he struggles with sometimes knowing what's appropriate. And he was always a bit of a joker and a bit of a kidder, and that personality trait has kind of been magnified. And he enjoys seeing other people laugh, so sometimes he'll just be forcing his brain to come up with a joke so that he can have people laugh and he can have some attention. But sometimes it's not quite appropriate,
Or funny.
Yeah, it's not, it's not funny.
You're never going to remember this face.
I can remember aliens' faces, but I remember you.
People are too polite in society, which I suppose is a good thing, but we'd really love for people to say, no, Amon, don't say, oh, you've been eating too many pies because that person looks big. That's not cool.
It's not a good thing to joke about with the big guy.
But then, they'll laugh, and so Amon doesn't actually learn. So the social skills is certainly an issue that we find.
Because I learned how to talk again. I'm talking too fast, like a turbo, like too much petrol. Like, I'm not running out of petrol. Wake up in the morning, all day. Back to sleep all night. So I could talk too much, and and I don't think I'm not to slow down talking or give someone else a chance to talk into the conversation. I just keep talking, and Mum and Dad are like, stop, other people want to talk. I'm like, my bad. Reverse, beep, park, shh, shh. And yeah.
The fact that he's finding friends, you know, that's an issue for Amon at the moment too. And he's, you know, he'll go downtown and check his balance in his bank account, and that's an excuse. You know, can I go down and check my balance in my bank account? All he wants to do is actually go for a bike ride and stop and speak to every single person along the way, and then come and talk all the way back again as well.
You do one. You having a good day? Hey, free music. You can take off your helmet. Yeah, little do. You
I got 7 drinks yesterday.
I gave $3.30. It's all yours, mate. You're playing good, man. I ate 30 Monday morning about hindering people have crashed and stuff like me. I was by a truck about 3 or 4 years ago. Couldn't breathe for 3 months. Couldn't walk or talk about 3 years after that. Made myself back. You have a good day, mate. See ya.
Sometimes I go for bike rides with him, and if he's like talking inappropriately or too much with some people that we know, I'll just be like, oh, Amon, calm down a bit or something. Well, that's enough. And yeah, he kind of gets it.
And do you know why that he's talking a bit, maybe sometimes talking a bit louder?
I think it's just because he wants to like make more friends. After the accident, quite a lot of his friends haven't been in touch with him, and he's just trying to make new ones now.
It's really Tane who like is like his big brother now, watches over him, you know, and if he's doing things inappropriate, he'll say, hey, Amon, you know, and because he's a little bit older than Trent in terms of maturity, he's able to, you know, handle Amon in a way, most times, where Amon doesn't feel like, hey, I've got a little brother telling me what to do. And, you know, and Tane and I have talked and said, you know, hey, you know, one day hopefully Amon's going to get married or get into a place of his own, but maybe he won't. And, you know, if we're not around or something happens to us, someone's going to need to keep a lookout. And so he's kind of, you know, taking it to heart, and sometimes he'll say to Amon, now come on, Amon, you better do what I tell you, because when Mum and Dad are gone, you're going to be living with me.
And what are the kind of things you hope for your older brother?
I hope he gets like a full-time job and be able to live by himself without our help. Yeah.
What about if Amon is still struggling with some things in the future? Who's going to be helping him out?
I'd help him out, and we've kind of said, like, with the family that, like, when Amon gets older, that, like, I'll look out for him and be, like, his helper and things like that.
There's got to be someone out there for him, you know, soulmate, a partner in life. I think there is someone around, maybe not in Cambridge, you know. So, yeah, I think there will be someone, but yeah, when, don't know.
How do you feel about the crash now?
Crash. I don't feel bad about it. I feel quite happy. I'm more popular. More people know about me, but it's not all about being popular, man. It's about the crash. Yes, it did ruin my life a little bit, but I'm still alive, so I've got to find my way back. You know, I'm finding my way back. You know, I couldn't walk for about 3 years. Then when I started walking, I was walking with a limp, but now the limp's kind of leaving. But things happen in life you got to deal with. Couldn't talk, couldn't walk. Now look at me. I throw it out there. Give me out of 10.
Definitely an 11.
Oh, 11? Get out of here. Woo. Thank you. Thank you very much.
These are individual inquests. Failure to give way, crossing centre line, 2 deaths. crossing centre line, 2 deaths. Drifting off road, crossing centre line, 2 deaths. Crossing centre line, careless driving, etc., etc.
Oh my God, look at them all
It
crossing.
just goes on and on.
As New Zealanders, we have no idea. We simply take our vehicles for granted. We get into them, we drive, we talk, we listen to the radio, we eat, we do our makeup. In a moment's inattention, and you're across the centre line and you've killed somebody. Having been a coroner for 11 years has scared me. I'm very conscious of oncoming traffic. I'm constantly on the lookout for what's happening around. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe everyone should be like that, just a little bit scared of being out there and being a bit more conscious of the risks.
Amon's made an incredible recovery.
He has. Their family is really dedicated and the house is full of laughter and fun. That's got to help.
Forestry is one of New Zealand's biggest industries, but it's more than just an industry. For the guys working here, this is more like a way of life. But it's a way of life that comes with a risk.
Yeah, I had my accident back on the 27th of January 99. Knocked me over, and as I was sort of falling down to my knees, I could hear my back breaking.
After his accident, Danny was not content to be an also-ran. Less than 2 years after he started rowing, he's one of the top athletes in New Zealand's elite squad.
Good evening and welcome to the 3rd annual Attitude Awards.
Once again, we're ready to celebrate the achievements and potential of the thousands of Kiwis who live with a disability.
I'm all sort of jumpy now.
Think about who deserves recognition. We want to show New Zealanders what people with disabilities are capable of.
I am so proud to win this award.
Nominations for this year's awards are only open for the next 5 weeks. Check out our website, attitudepictures.com, for information about the 7 categories. See you next week.
Attitude was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.